The crowd gasps. Bok Dong declares the Bibaya chief the winner and the new union president. The gangster, however, is not pleased. He demands a rematch, vowing revenge. To everyone's surprise, the chief apologizes. He admits the victory wasn't entirely fair, but he needed to win to support his family. He offers the gangster a small gift as compensation, a tiny Bibaya horn. The gangster stares at the horn, then at his injuries, wondering if the chief's apology was entirely sincere. As union president, the Bibaya chief throws himself into his work. He expertly fillets a fish with lightning-fast knife skills, transforming it into a beautiful plate of sushi. Housewives go wild, scrambling to buy his creations. Meanwhile, the other Bibaya tribesmen are busy selling mountain ginseng, claiming it gives men the chief's strength and vitality. Customers can't get enough. The supermarket, under the Bibaya tribe's influence, is thriving. Sales are booming. Seok Gu attributes it all to Bok Dong's brilliant marketing strategy. He's in awe of Bok Dong's business acumen. Bok Dong, however, is frustrated. He's not ruining the supermarket, he's making it more successful. Seeing the supermarket bustling with customers, Bok Dong decides to change tactics. If customers can't get in, the supermarket will surely fail. He devises two new entrance strategies and presents them to Seok Gu. Option 1. The revolving door of doom. As soon as a customer enters, the door locks. They have to spin a certain number of times to generate enough power to unlock it. Seok Gu has an immediate headache. Customers are here to shop, not exercise. Who's going to put up with this? Option 2 is even more terrifying. The vertical sensor door. It slams shut when it senses a customer approaching. Walk too slowly, and you risk losing your head. Seok Gu is baffled. Why mess with a winning formula? The supermarket is finally doing well. But Bok Dong won't be swayed. He flips a coin to decide. Meanwhile, at HQ, the CFO is shocked by the supermarket's sudden resurgence. He decides to send in a top-tier spy. He chooses Mi Ran, the star of the assistant department, fluent in 8 languages. Mi Ran, dreaming of a glamorous assignment in Paris, London, or Tokyo, is crushed when she's told she's going to the local supermarket. Dejected, she arrives at Cheonrima Mart just as the new revolving door is installed. She becomes the unwitting test subject. The door locks behind her, refusing to budge. After a moment of panic, she realizes it's a power-generating contraption. She pushes with all her might, spinning until the door finally unlocks. She stumbles out, exhausted, only to be caught by Seok Gu. Later, Mi Ran reports to Bok Dong, who has heard of her stellar reputation at HQ. He praises her performance, catching her off guard. Just as she's basking in the unexpected compliment, he asks point-blank if she's the CFO's spy. Caught red-handed, Mi Ran confesses, blurting out her entire mission. Bok Dong, surprisingly, isn't angry. He simply advises her to focus on her work. Leaving his office, Mi Ran has a newfound respect for Bok Dong. Maybe he's not so bad after all. Unfazed by the supermarket's newfound success, Bok Dong decides to tackle another area: unused corners. He converts them into free arcades. It's a childhood dream come true. He was too poor to play arcade games as a kid. Seok Gu is perplexed. This seems like a waste of resources, but Bok Dong is unstoppable. While overseeing the arcade setup, Seok Gu is drawn to a dance machine. He can't resist. He launches into an impromptu, highly skilled dance performance, showcasing his impressive moves to the bewildered staff. He even takes off his shirt and shoes, completely losing himself in the rhythm. Meanwhile, Mi Ran discovers an abandoned office. Despite her high heels and skirt, she diligently cleans the entire space, transforming it into a spotless haven. The staff, witnessing Mi Ran's dedication, realize she's not there to spy on them. They embrace each other, thrilled to finally have a proper office. The next day, a young girl appears in the supermarket. The gangster, initially aggressive, approaches her, only to burst into tears. Seok Gu arrives to find the gangster sobbing uncontrollably in front of the child. He's completely confused. Bok Dong enters to find the entire staff in tears, with the little girl standing calmly amidst the chaos. He asks Seok Gu what's going on, but Seok Gu can only sob in response. The girl asks Bok Dong if he's the owner. He confirms, and she asks if her dad can have a job. She shows him a photo of her deceased father. Bok Dong is taken aback. He takes the girl to his office and hears her heartbreaking story. Her father dedicated his life to passing the bar exam, but never succeeded. He was eventually disqualified and forced to apply for regular jobs. facing constant rejection. Her mother, unable to cope with their poverty, left them. Her father continued his desperate job search until he was tragically killed in a car accident just a week ago. At the funeral, the girl overheard neighbors gossiping about her father's unemployment, labeling him a failure. She didn't want him to be remembered that way. She wanted him to have a job, even in death, so she brought his resume to Bok Dong. Bok Dong, always looking for ways to spend the company's money, agreed to hire the deceased father. Learning the girl was now an orphan, he hired her too. The staff, witnessing this act of kindness, were deeply moved. Only Seok-gu remained confused. Inspired by the girl's situation, Bok Dong launched another project, a library, with the girl as the librarian. He allowed her to study while working, even assigning Seok-gu to tutor her for an hour each day. He insisted on paying her a full adult salary, plus her father's salary, effectively using company funds for charity. Seok-gu was stunned. First, child labor, now employing the deceased? Bok Dong's business practices were questionable, but his compassion was undeniable. Despite his reservations, Seok-gu found himself tutoring the girl, patiently helping her with her homework. Mothers shopping in the supermarket were touched by this heartwarming scene. The girl, seizing the opportunity, began recommending related books, boosting sales. Seok-gu realized that even this seemingly absurd act was generating revenue. Bok Dong, despite his unorthodox methods, was a business genius. To try and regain some semblance of normalcy, Seok-gu decided on a new initiative. Everyone gets a Western name. It would add a touch of class, making the supermarket feel more international. The next day, he proudly introduced himself as Peter. He then went around checking on everyone else's names, only to discover they'd completely missed the point. Glasses and curly hair chose ridiculously local nicknames. Even Myran, the sophisticated HQ employee, picked a traditional Korean name. Seok-gu despaired. The Babaya tribe, though not Korean, chose names of Korean pop stars, effectively becoming a K-pop cover group. He even encountered a mini IU. Seok-gu was reaching his limit, but these were relatively normal compared to what he saw next. A flash of gold caught his eye. It was a man in Middle Eastern attire. Intrigued, Seok-gu approached. The man turned, and Seok-gu gasped. It was Bok Dong. Apparently, Bok Dong thought the Western names idea was good, but regular English names were too boring. If they were going international, they were going all the way. Dressed as a Middle Eastern monarch, Bok Dong began his daily inspection. He encountered a wealthy Middle Eastern investor, shopping for milk. The two locked eyes, a spark igniting between them. The music swelled, and they broke into a spontaneous, synchronized dance, captivating everyone around them. Their intense gazes and surprisingly coordinated moves created an unforgettable spectacle. A bromance was born. The investor felt divinely guided to meet Bok Dong in this unlikely setting. He'd been in town discussing a potential investment in the region's largest supermarket. This encounter felt like fate.
Incoming dishes! Doc! Dawn Power Wash flies through 99% of grease and grime in half the time.
Yeah, it absorbs grease 5 times faster. It even replaces multiple
After their impromptu dance-off, the investor, swept away by the moment, invested a whopping $10 billion in Bok Dong's supermarket. Bok Dong was dumbfounded. He was trying to ruin the supermarket, not turn it into a gold mine. The news of the massive investment made headlines. The Dame of Vice President and CFO, seething with jealousy, paid a visit to the supermarket, intending to confront Bok Dong. Bok Dong, however, remained utterly unconcerned. His goal was to destroy Dama, and he wasn't afraid of anyone. He greeted them with his feet up on his desk, a picture of nonchalant defiance. He then pulled out a pen and aimed it menacingly at them. Terrified, they fled. In the parking garage, the vice president discovered his car had been redecorated by the Babaya tribe. He collapsed in defeat. With the executives gone, a new crisis emerged. A horde of children descended upon the supermarket. Bok Dong's free arcade had turned the store into a kid's paradise, a chaotic playground. A group of students were smoking in the bathroom. Kids were running wild, disrupting everything. Someone stole the Babaya chief's gold belt. Others were swarming the gangster. Bok Dong, finally reaching his breaking point, stormed off to his office, retrieving a secret weapon from his closet. Seok-gu, fearing Bok Dong was about to unleash his wrath on the children, tried to intervene, but Bok Dong emerged, with a magical flute passed down from his ancestors. Accompanied by the flute's enchanting melody, the children, as if hypnotized, followed Bakdong out of the store and into the neighboring supermarket. He then sprinted back to Cheonrima Mart, leaving the bewildered children behind. The staff stared in awe. Bakdong, with a flourish, ripped down the arcade sign. With the flashing lights gone, peace returned to the supermarket. The next day, Bakdong was driving to work when a man suddenly jumped in front of his car. Bakdong slammed on the brakes, narrowly avoiding a collision. He angrily confronted the man, assuming he was causing trouble. The man explained he was a jelly supplier. His business was failing after Mart stopped carrying his product. His factory was on the brink of bankruptcy, and he was desperate. Bakdong, after sampling the jelly and finding it delicious, had an epiphany. He had $10 billion burning a hole in his pocket, and a supermarket to bankrupt. He offered the man a deal. Cheonrima Mart would buy his jelly, but at triple the price. The man was stunned. He'd met generous CEOs, but this was unprecedented. He followed Bakdong back to the supermarket, setting up a jelly stall. Seok-gu watched, bewildered. When he learned about the tripled price, he was speechless. This was financial suicide. They'd lose money on every sale. But Bakdong was determined to make it work. The supplier, emboldened by Bakdong's unwavering faith, was reinvigorated. He proudly displayed his family's generations' old jelly-making certificate. It turned out he was a descendant of a royal chef. Customers, intrigued by the high price and the impressive credentials, flocked to the stall. Elders, after tasting the jelly, were hooked. It was the taste of home, a traditional recipe passed down through generations. The high price didn't deter them. They bought it by the bucket load. The jelly became an overnight sensation. The factory went into overdrive, working 24/7 to meet the demand. The jelly craze even caught the attention of international buyers. Impressed with the jelly's quality, the international buyers placed large orders. The supplier, grateful for Bakdong's generosity, refused to sell his jelly anywhere else, remaining loyal to Cheonrima Mart. Bakdong's selfless act of saving a failing business became a media sensation. He was interviewed by newspapers and TV stations, receiving numerous awards. But Bakdong's smile was gone. He was failing at failing. Seeing the supermarket's profits soar, he ordered his staff to give away the store's finest bottled water to anyone buying jelly, hoping to drain the supermarket's funds. Meanwhile, the CFO, watching the news, no longer believed Bakdong was trying to sabotage the supermarket. He suspected Bakdong was aiming for expansion. He couldn't let that happen. At the same time, the vice president was summoned by the chairman and berated for his laziness. The chairman, in a fit of rage, nearly assaulted him. The vice president fled, shoeless, to the parking garage to mournfully pet his defaced car. The CFO contacted Seok-gu, and they left the supermarket together. Myran, now fiercely loyal to Bakdong, secretly followed them, suspecting a conspiracy. The CFO offered Seok-gu a transfer to HQ. The condition? Betray Bakdong. A major event was coming that could make or break the supermarket. The CFO wanted Seok-gu to blame everything on Bakdong. Myran, eavesdropping, assumed the worst. She prepared to warn Bakdong. But just as she was about to leave, she heard Seok-gu misunderstand the CFO's offer. He thought the CFO wanted him to actively sabotage Bakdong. Seok-gu refused. He longed for a position at HQ, but he'd grown to respect Bakdong. He didn't always understand Bakdong's methods, but the staff was happy, and the supermarket felt like a family. Myran, relieved, slipped away. However, after she left, Seok-gu regretted his hasty refusal. He didn't want to betray Bakdong or the CFO. He was trapped. So, Seok-gu decided to work for both sides. The CFO was speechless. This brilliant graduate seemed to have completely missed the point.
New Swiffer Mop Pro is made for small